Graeme, thanks for joining us a year into your role as sporting director. A great time to catch up, firstly, in the here and now. How are things?
Yeah, things are good. Interesting year. A little bit nervous today because it's the Scotland-Denmark game tonight. So apart from those nerves, yeah, happy, all good.
As I said, a year into your tenure, a lot to unpack, plenty has happened. Does it feel like a year to you, or has it flown by?
I think when you look back, it feels like it's flown by because there's been so much that's happened. But there was definitely moments in time it didn't fly by. The drive back from Dingwall late December after losing 2 goals in the last 2 minutes of the game to draw the game, that definitely wasn't a fast moment in time. But generally over the course of the year, there's been so much that's happened for me in my role, but also for the club, which is it's been eventful. And as I say, looking back, it's been really quick.
Taking you back 12 months, what were your initial thoughts about where the club was and where we needed to get to?
When I came in, I just saw a huge opportunity within my role and what could be achieved. It was really clear that my job's to align the ambition of the club along with the potential to deliver sustained success over the coming years. So I just saw lots of opportunity, and there was lots of things that I wanted to change, which is natural. When you come into a new job, you want to change them, and that's over the pieces what we've gone about off the park. And as I say, bringing that alignment to enable the year-on-year success that the club's craving is. So yeah, it's all there to be set up and to be had now, to be honest.
You mentioned the changes that you would have wanted to have implemented when you first came in. You'll have come in with a plan, of course. Have you had to deviate from that plan much at all as the kind of curveballs in football have arrived, or have you been able to, by and large, kind of stick to it?
Well, as I say, aligning those ambitions is all part of the long-term plan for the club to, again, year-on-year improve. And so there was lots of setbacks in the first 6 months. Being knocked out of Europe in the fashion that we did was deeply disappointing. The run we had to the Cup, was a positive up to the semi-final. Missing out on top 6 wasn't anywhere near the levels of expectancy that we have. And then obviously being defeated in the semi-final culminated in a really disappointing period for us. But then, we went through a period of change. We had a new management team come in, and since then, it's been on a positive trajectory, and that's in essence what we want as a club. We want a positive trajectory year on year, and as a result, we're in a good moment as it stands.
I think it's fair to say there's been 2 seismic events that have impacted you and your responsibilities in the past year at Hearts. Firstly, Jamestown Analytics, almost a year exactly since we entered into our partnership with them. How have you found that relationship with Jamestown, and how has that relationship evolved over the last 12 months?
Yeah, the Jamestown piece is, arguably the most exciting part of what's happened to the club over the last year, and alongside the investment with obviously Tony Bloom. The relationship's excellent, and I love that part of my job, of that interaction. It gives me huge energy and clear objectivity in my decision making. But I think also, understandably, there's a lot of attraction towards the recruitment part of it, and that's what Jamestown's main area is for us, is to be smart and clever in our recruitment. But the part that I think that probably goes unseen is how Jamestown has connected the whole club. So it connects the board's ability to understand what they are seeing, both in terms of recruitment, but also performances and where we're wanting to go to with those performances. It connects myself and Derek, which is the key relationship. That's the key relationship for the club, is myself, Derek, and Jamestown, and it connects us in a way that maintains that objectivity all the time. So we're always backing up what we're seeing with the objectivity part that Jamestown give us. And it also aligns what we're trying to develop within other parts of the club with the development of our youth players as well, and also on the women's side. So Jamestown covers across the whole area, and for me, it's connected so many things that enables me to be comfortable that we're all very much pulling in the same direction now, and that can only lead to a positive future for the club.
You alluded to it earlier on. The second event, of course, was a managerial change. The club parting company with Neil Critchley and appointing Derek McInnes. I guess something that's kind of part and parcel of football, but how did you find that situation and all the processes that come with a managerial change?
Yeah, it was a challenging moment in time. Not massive for looking back on periods of disappointment. Too much. I don't think it pays to dwell on these moments, but there was learning points at that moment in time. We needed as a club to make a decision, and it was a difficult decision, and it's difficult when you're dealing with good people. But it was the right decision, and we parted ways with Neil, wished him all the best. Liam Fox did a terrific job in the interim, and that enabled us and enabled me to have the time to go and recruit, which was the standout candidate and one that I was delighted to get in Derek. And as I say, it's set us on the way to a more positive future.
Free Manager of the Month awards. We're unbeaten in the league, top of the table by 7 points. How much have you enjoyed working with Derek and watching Hearts at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, the Manager of the Month awards are recognition for the excellent work that Derek has done, but also his staff and most importantly the players. Derek's come in. I really enjoy working with him every day. We get on very well. We're very much aligned with our mindsets. We're pragmatic but ambitious, which is a good combination. We know what we need to do over the coming seasons and where we want to get to. Derek's been, everything that I would hoped he would be and more in terms of coming in. He's made it about the football team again. His performances in Tynecastle have exemplified what he wants our team to be. He's taken players that have been here for a long period of time and made them, the best versions of themselves, and they're performing at a high level. And then he's brought in the new players that we've brought in through the Jamestown model and managed to, integrate them into what has been so far a successful team. And that's the beauty of Derek's skills, both as a coach but as a manager. And as I say, it sets us up nicely for what's to come. And as I say, there'll be challenges along the way, but we're confident with what we've got in place that we'll meet those challenges.
Everyone has a real spring in their step at the moment, both at Tynecastle and up the road at Orion. With the results right now come expectations, a lot of attention and focus on the club. How do the football department handle that noise ultimately?
Well, with expectations, come in alignment with results. So the better you do in the park, the higher the expectations will become. For me, that's just what we want. That's what we want, and we have to create a resilience as time goes on within the team. For the better we do, we've got to be expected to maintain that. But there's also got to be a pragmatism that it's not always going to be like the start we've had with lots of last minute goals. The big part that I take comfort in is how good the fans have been. There's been 2 occasions in particular this season at Tynecastle where we've not been at our best, which is going to happen. But the fans have added to what we were trying to do, and they haven't created a anxiety in the team. They've actually given them the confidence to push on. In the 3-3 game with Motherwell, and even the game against Dundee United, where we weren't at our best, the fans and the support that we have really willed the players on and the team on. And that's the part that I'm, really excited about just now, is that everything seems to be pulling in the right direction, which is half the battle with football, is to get everything going in that same direction. And as a result, the expectancy is what it is. And we don't really pay too much attention to that, because it's really just on the expectancies we have internally and what we do and how we can function. And as I say, we are all set for what's to come, but again, the long-term thing is that it's the year-on-year progression is what we're looking for.
We alluded to that summer recruitment earlier on. We're approaching the January transfer window, of course. What are the plans for that?
Well, every transfer window matters for us, like all clubs, but particularly with the utilisation of Jamestown. So there are certain areas within the team that we want to improve, but we have to balance that with the harmony within the group, and that's something that Derek, has spoken himself about. So we will look to be active as we can be, but balancing that out with making sure that we maintain a harmony within the group, and keep that positivity and focus on the gradual improvement of what we're achieving.
One player that there's been a lot of talk about is Islam Chesnikov. What can you tell us about him?
We're looking forward to having him in early December. We had a call with him on Friday just past, and he's really excited about coming, and I appreciate there's noise that's surrounding him coming from back in Kazakhstan, but we can't do anything about that noise. We've got a pre-contract agreement in place, and we've got a player that's really excited about coming, and he had a great conversation with Derek on Friday. So for us now, it's just making sure that we facilitate the setup, so the transition as he comes into the country is as smooth as possible, and he can come in, have a good month's training with us, and be ready for available for selection as of the beginning of January. So yeah, he's a really exciting one for us, and as I say, the sooner we have him, the better.
We've spoken a lot about the first team, but that's not all that's under your remit. Of course, the women's team continuing to progress in what's a really tight and competitive SWPL. The B team blooding plenty of younger players in the senior game, and the academy is producing younger talent as well. There's a lot happening there.
Yeah, it's that's the beauty of my role is so varied, and I don't have to get too bogged down just into minutiae detail within the first team all the time. Well, that does happen, but yeah, the women's team had a really good result on Sunday that I was there to see. Really positive second half performance to win 3-1, and things are moving nicely within the women's team. They are now also benefiting from the partnership with Jamestown Analytics, so that will only continue to bear fruit in the coming seasons, like with the men's game, of sort of year-on-year improvement, what we're striving for. The academy, the professional development phase, and the B squad is really part of the piece of bringing everything together in line with Jamestown. So we are beginning now to roll out our new club identity called the Hearts Way. Shelley Kerr will give more details of that in the coming weeks. But it's really to bring an alignment to the pathway for our talented players as we try and direct them towards the first team. So we've got that competition coming from our own academy, as well as the benefit of the recruitment through Jamestown. And as I say, what Jamestown will give us will be able to allow, when we tap into the club cooperation system, and also the loan market for our players to go out on loan, is to enable us to get Jamestown to have a look at our players at the different leagues, and as a result where they sit within our squad, and how competitive they'll be going forward. So again, it's all in alignment, and there were various things that we're looking at just now that we look to improve on in the coming months, and there'll be more on that to come as we go.
A two-part final question. Part one, how would you sum up your first 12 months in the role?
I think it's been a progression from where we came in. We've tried to progress as best we can, both off the pitch, behind the scenes, and also obviously on the pitch. And as a result, yeah, it's just we're now in a place where I think we're in a much better place than we were a year ago, and that gives me confidence of what's to come.
And just finally then, in the next 12 months, what should or could they look like?
I would hope that we just maintain the trajectory of what we're on, and continue to improve. As I say, we are well positioned just now to deal with whatever comes, and I've got full confidence in the players and the management, and the belief that they've got. And as I say, their resilience will be tested, but yeah, we're ready for whatever's to come.
Graeme, thanks very much for your time.
No problem, thank you.